And a one, and a two, and a... Good morning. Welcome to the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. We're joined this morning by Buddy Mincey Jr., who is a candidate for State Representative, House Seat 71. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great, McHugh. Good morning.
Good, good. Glad to hear it. So we're going to run real quick through our normal little show, so we're going to get right to our guests, because I know some of you have expressed that I talk a little too much when I have my guests. So real quick, your traffic today, backed up on Highway 16 in Watson, as those folks are dropping their kids off at Live Oak High School. Heavy delays on I-12, backed up to Jubin. However, it clears up early. State doesn't work on Friday. Minor delays at the 10-12 split. No delays in Denham Springs, which is pretty fascinating. We are getting into fall. It's a beautiful 69 degrees outside today. It will get hot. However, it's going to stay that way through next week. High of 92. A couple of things to discuss real quick about the Parish Council last night. Did pass the master plan as a binding ordinance from 2013. Will be interesting to see where they go from there. A lot of funding got to come into place for them to be able to finish rounding that out. They also passed an ordinance that would place punishments on those who seek commercial permits or permits of any type fraudulently. So if you go get a shed permit and then build a house in your backyard, you're going to get in trouble for it. You didn't used to. So for those of you who are joining us this morning for our guests, we appreciate that. You can also check out these shows at www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. Don't forget, we have a football show now. It is online, for this week. You can check out a preview of everything that's going on tonight, wherein everybody is in action. Nobody is playing each other, though, so it should be an interesting night. It is Denham Springs' homecoming. So, with all that being said, good morning, sir, and welcome. Appreciate you coming on the show. So first and foremost, let's just talk a little bit about you. You know, your job, your family, your personal life, that kind of thing. Go right in.
Okay, McHugh, first of all, thank you for having me here this morning. It's
Absolutely.
Always a pleasure to visit with you.
Absolutely.
And I want to thank the listeners for being up and about and paying attention as well, so thank them. But my name is Buddy Mincey Jr. I'm running for the House of Representatives, District 71. District 71 is currently held by Mr. Rogers Pope. Mr. Rogers is term limited and running for the Senate, so I'm running for his open seat. I am a lifelong resident of Livingston Parish, a lifelong resident or member of Hebrew Baptist Church. I have lived here all my life, proud of the school system I'm a part of. I'm married to Michelle Mincey. Michelle is a 28-year teacher in Livingston Parish. She teaches at 7th Ward Elementary, second grade, same class for 28 years, same grade. I have three wonderful daughters, Morgan, Madison, and Megan. Morgan is a OR surgical nurse. She graduated from Southeastern last December in nursing. Yes, and yeah, thank you. And Madison is a elementary ed major at Southeastern. She's doing her residency program this year. And my baby Megan is agriculture major at LSU. She wants to be a vet. So last December, I had three kids in college, and I'm thankful that one of them graduated.
It's the congratulations.
Yes, absolutely.
Very alliterative.
Yeah. But I'm also a school board member. I've been on the school board for 13 years. I am board president, and I have, before being board president this past year, I was board vice president for 8 years. So I'm very proud of my service and the opportunity to work with the school system.
Now, what do you do personally for your job?
Yes, I am actually a safety director for Volks Constructors, but I've been in the petrochemical industry for about 34 years.
Okay.
28 of those years were in supervisory positions. I was a QC director for probably 6 or 7 years. I was a mechanical superintendent for about 10, and I've been a safety director for Volks, since then. So, in those capacities, in all those capacities as a contractor, help develop skill sets. And those skill sets, from being resourceful, from being holding people accountable, and being able to problem solve and get things done, those skill sets really were very beneficial to me, at this point.
Well, coming to the end of that, moving forward, what made you decide to jump into this particular race?
Well, I haven't always wanted to be an elected official. In fact, just the opposite. I am Buddy Mincey Jr., and I live right next to Buddy Mincey, which was my dad. My dad was a parish council member for 16 years and a true public servant. He really served the people. And back when we had phone books, we used to be on the same line. We'd be one line from each other. So I got half of his calls. And I never wanted to be an elected official because I just saw how much he put into it and just didn't have the interest. And I went to my first school board meeting many years ago. My wife was a teacher and they had a parish-wide issue. We went there. I went there to support her, just to be there with her. And I walked in and just really saw an opportunity for me to apply my leadership to something that I was so proud of, my parish and my school system. And I walked in for that meeting. I walked out and I told my wife I'm running for the school board. And I've been doing that for the last 13 years, probably the most rewarding thing I've done other than being a dad. And so that's why I got into being an elected official. And I see the same opportunity at the House. I see an opportunity for me to apply my leadership and my skill sets to the House of Representatives. And I spoke earlier about the skills that I developed as a contractor. Those skill sets have really prepared me to be an effective school board member. Mm-hmm. And my years and my experience as a school board has prepared me to go to the House.
Well, let's talk about that. I mean, let's back up a little bit and let's talk about those 13 years as a school board member. Some of the things you've done, how you felt about the experience of being on that board.
I'm gonna tell you, it's when I first got elected, the school system was, it was a pretty political board. It was all about it was 9 board members, all about who had the 5 votes. And my first 4 years was pretty challenging. It was extremely divided, extremely political, and most things were on a 5-4 deciding on anything, really of significance. And I was on the losing end most of those times. And we had a change in board, and it took a couple of years to change some of those political barriers that had been up for so long. And we broke down those barriers, and we were no longer a board of who had the 5 votes. We were a board about doing the right thing. And so overall, for the board comprehensively, I've seen a transition, and I've been a part of the leadership to get us out of the politics into doing the right thing. So I'm very proud of that. That has been very helpful. But on the local level, I do represent primarily the Dillon Springs area. Prior to the flood, directly involved, very intimately involved with about $65 million in capital improvements, which included building up 2 new schools. And then, I've also, of course, the flood. The flood is just a success story for Livingston Parish, a success story for our community, our school system. But, you flooded with 19 sites, you're back in school in 20 days, and, 120 days, you got 3 modular buildings erected for the campuses that were had to demolish. So those have all just been tremendous opportunities that I'm very proud to be a part of.
Well, and it's been a heck of 3 years since then, and everything that came before that. So, let's talk about how do you feel those experiences with the school board have helped you to be able to handle this position that you're moving into specifically? I know you said that, these experiences have been good, and that can you name a specific example?
Well, I can. Actually, I take my fiscal responsibility as a top priority for me. Our school system is probably a $305 million overall budget. I have been the Budget and Goals Chairman for the last 9 years. As Budget and Goals Chairman, I have helped guide our school system through 2 emergencies. In 2011, thanks to the biennial educational reforms and the cuts that we got, we actually had to declare a financial emergency. And also the flood of 2016. So as I was a Budget and Goals Chairman for 2 of those just catastrophic events for our parish, and so from a fiscal standpoint, I've got a lot of experience, and I believe in accountability, and I believe in doing the best you have with what you have. And our school system is just a prime example of that. So the first thing I would say, other than that, and leadership, I've showed, on the board, I've showed my leadership. I've showed I've got the ability to make the right decisions for the right reasons, and we need all 3 of those at the Capitol.
Well, and yes, we do, and it's a crowded room. If you could taking those experiences, taking those abilities that you have moving forward into the House, if you could describe a goal or goals for the state legislature from your opinion, what would they be?
Simple. We have got to get back to where the people have confidence in our state government, and that's going to require good government. It's going to require people at the Capitol who are not worried about politics. They're worried about doing the right thing, and who can work together. And I think our biggest obstacle at the state legislature is to have that confidence back. And I think once you've got that confidence back, you can build from it. And of course, it just, you got to go back and you got to have leadership. We've got to have leadership at the Capitol.
Well, thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Again, Mr. Buddy Mincey Jr. is a candidate for state representative, House Seat 71. He and I will be sitting down. We're going to take a quick little break after the show, regroup, and then he and I will sit down for a longer form podcast, get a little deeper on those answers, ask some more questions. So please be on the lookout for that. A reminder that early voting starts tomorrow. 8:30 a.m. You can either go to the Registrar of Voters office in Livingston, or you can come to the Denham Springs Walker Branch Library. Although if you're going to come there, come early, because Mr. Wayne Hardy is playing tomorrow at North Park. Early voting runs from Saturday, September 28th to Saturday, October 5th. You can't vote on Sunday, September 29th, but you can vote any other day. The reason early voting is being pushed so hard this year is October 12th is, as we start the list, LSU versus Florida at 2:30 p.m. on CBS. It is Southeastern's homecoming. It is the Saturday of Fair Week. And as I've learned recently, it is either the early going or the first weekend of hunting season. Do you know which one it is?
Yeah, it's a couple weekends.
Yeah. So you're in the hunting season. So it is it's a very good idea. If any of those events interest you, go ahead and early vote. That way on October 12th, you're only worried about results. You're not worried about trying to get some time to go to your polling place. And obviously, for early voting, you have options. So again, Buddy, thank you for joining us this morning. One more run through your traffic before we let you guys go. And it's a good Friday. It's clear outside, 69 degrees, 92 is your high. Traffic's looking some minor delays once you get on at Denham Springs on I-12 westbound. Those will clear up even before you reach O'Neill Lane. Minor delays on 64 heading into Central. Otherwise, you're looking at a pretty clear drive. Once again, my name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Yes, sir.
Yeah, just one thing. I want to thank you again, McHugh, for giving us this opportunity to be heard. And I'd like to encourage the voters to compare, to truly compare and try to research and make the best decision possible. There are so many avenues right now that you can check out candidates. Social media, most everyone has a social media account. I encourage people to look at those, but check out their record, and I have ran this campaign based on my merits, on who I am, what I've done, and what I'm capable of doing. And I'm very proud of who I am and where I come from. So I just encourage the voters to be educated as much as possible and go vote. Early voting is going to be huge. We got the library that you discussed right there, but we also have the Register of Voters. They can register there. They can go vote there as well. But it's going to be held from September 28th through October the 5th. Mm-hmm. So just want to make sure everybody gets out and exercises their right to vote.
Remember to early vote.
Absolutely.
Early vote. So again, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And I appreciate the comment because yes, there are a couple of crowded races and there's some races that aren't crowded but have gotten a little contentious. So there's a lot of options you have. Social media is one. We have information in the paper. Also recommended you visit the Ethics Board website. You can go look at campaign finances there. They're always very interesting. Well, at least for somebody like me who likes the numbers. And if you ever miss one of these shows, or if you want to go back and watch Buddy's interview just to get some more answers or get some clarification before you vote, we upload these shows, www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. They are free. We have audio and video versions for you to choose from. Thanks again for joining us this morning. We hope you have a great rest of your Friday, and we hope you look forward to the podcast we have coming out in just a little bit from Mr. Buddy. Thanks again. Have a great day.